Hello everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. This is day one of the Arena Cube Open, attempt number 1. So ideally, I've liked the mid-range decks in this format. Like if I could be, green-red mid-range, green-white mid-range, and red-black, something like that. Kind of my approach is to try to, I really just want to have a deck full of all-stars from previous standards. So I'm going to take Bone Crusher Giant to start off there. Could wind up, I haven't really liked mono red that much. I mean, I could maybe wind up with it. I'm probably going to wheel a pretty good red card out of this pack between Shatter Skull Smashing, Blade Historian, Royal Eruption, and Phyrexian Dragon Engine. I also really like Sheoldred, with the 7-mana one. But I'm going to start with the cheap card, which I think is really what you want to do. Because ideally, if you're winding up with one of these mid-range decks, you're going to have really good things to cast on 4, 5, and 6 mana, almost regardless of how you prioritize them. You don't need to pick them very highly. It's really a question of, do you get good 2 and 3 mana plays? Bone Crusher Giant is an okay 2 mana play and an okay 3 mana play. So together it makes a pretty good card. Alright. So this pack has Teferi, which I think is by far the best card to go into blue-white. There's Torbrand, but like I said, I'm not really trying to be mono-red. This card really wants you to be mono-red or extremely, extremely close to it. I think I might just take Teferi, stay open. I don't hate Luris, but not as a companion. Like you're just going to put it in your deck. It's still pretty good to just have in the deck. I think I'm going to go with this Teferi.
I'm known for my.
I could wind up having both of these cards in my deck at the same time. It'd be a little bit unusual. All right, here's Glorybringer. This is like the poster child for my standard all-stars approach to drafting. This was a great card in standard, and it's a great card in this cube. It'd be a little bit weird to be a heavy red deck that also casts Teferi. Maybe I could be like a red-blue, more controlling deck that splashes white just for Teferi. We'll see. Or maybe that's just going to be a pick I don't wind up using. This is going pretty well, though. I've got 3 cards that I'm I would be reasonably happy to first pick to start a draft. All right, Sweltering Suns, which is not a great card if you're an aggressive red deck, but if you're a more controlling red deck, it's actually a pretty good card. So I could try to get into this, like, Jeskai controlling deck. Bone Crusher Giant's a little bit out of place there, but it would still be completely fine. The other option would be to take a green card. And I think that would probably just be Llanowar Visionary. Llanowar Visionary, Course of Crucifix, and Once Upon a Time are all pretty good. I think I'm going to take Sweltering Suns, though. I haven't really seen very many lands yet. Like, one of the ways you wind up with a good deck in this cube is you just kind of go with the flow of whatever dual lands you're seeing. So here, I'm going to take Battlefield Forge. Because I know I want to be red. It's possible I want to be Jeskai. It's possible I want to be, like, a red-white aggro deck. There's also a Dark Hour Wastes, but most of my cards are red, so I'm going to pick the dual land that has red in it, because I'm much more likely to use it. The spells in this pack are nothing special for sure. Primal Might is probably the best spell. And I would really like it if I was drafting red-green to get Primal Might, but I think I'm probably not drafting red-green. Alright, so here, this is a decision. If I wound up in a more controlling deck, I think Discover the Formula would be pretty nice. If I'm a more aggressive or mid-range deck, Den of the Bugbear would be the pick. Timeless Witness and Invoke Despair are also very good cards, but they're really color intensive. I'm not going to branch into a new color for either of those. I mean, I think Invoke Despair would be pretty much impossible to play in my deck with the red cards I've got. Timeless Witness, I could have maybe played. All right, so we got a lot of options here. Ledger Shredder would be fine. Dragon's Range Channeler would maybe be okay. This one, whether this is a good or a bad card in your deck is pretty random. It's very hard to draft around Delirium, so it just kind of winds up either working out or not. It's not really that much in your control. I think I'm just going to take Sulphur Falls. I don't really love Sphinx's Revelation. It's really expensive for what you get. Like, Discover the Formula is just a much better card drawing card. And I don't want to have a ton of super expensive card drawing spells in my deck. One of the issues with being blue-red in this cube is the gold cards are pretty weak, at least relative to some of the other colors' gold cards. There's a bunch of good black cards. Well, goods. I mean, Fatal Push is pretty good. Ophiomancer's fine. I think I'll just take the Retrofitter Foundry. I think Siren Stormtamer is a card you should never, ever play. It's just terrible. Explorer's probably the best card in this pack. I don't know if I'm going to play the Foundry or not. It'll depend on... If I wind up with a deck that's just like a lot of counter spells, so I'm going to want to leave mana up a lot of the time, I guess I'll play the Foundry. Ooh, I forgot there was a Magma Opus in my opening pack, and it wheeled. That's pretty nice. And now there's a Time Wipe and an Opt. Time Wipe is really strong. It's just a matter of I'll be doubles in 3 colors if I do that. I'm going to have to really pick lands highly. The other choice is Opt, which is completely serviceable. I think I'm going to go for the upside and take the Time Wipe. And this is looking like a good Smoldering Egg deck. Double Vision's also pretty good, but I think Smoldering Egg is probably the pick just because it's cheaper. I've yet to see anyone attempt to put Micromancer in their deck. That seems like a really awful card, but perhaps not worse than the Reassembling Skeleton. Delver is another card I think is quite bad. Like this whole theme of tiny blue creatures and Curious Obsession, I think kind of stinks. I might play Champion of Blitz, I might not. This was kind of a standard All-Star in its day, but I think this one hasn't aged very well. The body that you get the first time you cast it is just so small. And like compare this card to Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's kind of like the OG Fable of the Mirror Breaker, but it is so much worse. All right, what do we got? Sky Sovereign, which is extremely good. The only issue with it is that I don't know that I'm going to have enough creatures to comfortably be crewing it. I've got 2 things that crew it, and Smoldering Egg can maybe crew it, although I don't know that crewing it with the Ashmouth Dragon is really... that's unlikely to be an important play to make. I can also just take Fiery Impulse, which I think is what I'm going to pick. In the interest of just having cheap cards. Yeah. Versus Command Wheels, I might wind up playing with it. Alright, here... Brazen Borrower would obviously be fine, but I think because of the Time Wipe, I need to prioritize taking dual lands when I can. So I will take this pathway. If I'm lucky, I might wheel Seal Away from this pack. Seal Away is a card that doesn't go in every white deck. So we've got good dual land. There's also Shark Typhoon. I really like Shark Typhoon in these kind of decks. Notably, I've yet to pick a single counter, which I was envisioning having some counters in my deck, so... It's something I'm going to have to look out for. I would like maybe 2. So there's still plenty of time to get them. Like if I got, you know, negate and neutralize or disdainful stroke and saw it coming, something like that, that'd be ideal. Pact of Negation. I both don't think this is a particularly good card. It's also incredibly annoying to play with because you just give away when it's in your hand because of the way Arena works. Or you can, you know, try to play in full control all the time, which is just also really annoying. I'll take Exclude. Perhaps isn't the kind of counter I exactly wanted, but it is a pretty good card. And here is a great counter, Counterspell. Wow, this pack has 3 really good cards. Counterspell, Burn Down the House, and Stormcarved Coast are all exceptionally good for me. I think I'll take Counterspell. So I've got 12 spells right now. So I want to get at least 10 more spells. I might play 18 lands. It depends on what my curve winds up looking like and how much card drawing I get. And also if I get some lands that have some value attached to them, which there probably aren't. I already passed the Shatter Skull Smashing in pack 1. I don't know, are all the creature lands even in this cube? Like, I know Den of the Bugbear was in the previous pack. I don't know if the Hall of Storm Giants is in the cube. I think it might be. Alrund's Epiphany. That's a pretty good one. There's also a couple of, like, okay lands. Probably if this was whatever the Jeskai Triumph is called, Rogrin, I would take that, but I'll just take Alrund's Epiphany here instead. Supreme Will would also be fine. That pack had a lot of options. I think the deck I'm drafting is pretty open. Would like to get a couple more cheap cards for sure. Just Commit Memory. It's also just a Triumph. I probably like this card more than I should. I don't think I'm going to pick it here. I think I'll just take the Triumph. Overcharged Amalgam, which is a counter. It's kind of a 4-mana. It's like Dismiss, don't draw a card in this deck. I'm not going to have anything to sack that I don't really want. I think it's between Thirst for Discovery and Lurin. I'll just take Thirst for Discovery. Alright, do I want Urza's Command or do I want the Sprite Dragon? I'm not really a fan of Sprite Dragon in this deck. I don't know if I'd... Urza's Command's pretty mediocre too. This can be okay, but you need to have like a fair amount of artifact stuff or reasons you'd want a Power Stone. Brazen Borrower is a nice pickup. Ooh, and we get a land. I would play Hard Evidence probably, but I'm obviously going to just take the land over it. Probably not going to play Crawling Barrens in a 3-color deck that's doubles of all colors. This is, I'm playing best of 3. This is at minimum a very good sideboard card. It probably isn't going to make my deck. Wow. I think I should take Burn Down the House. It's one of the best sweepers in this style of deck. Just because it can deal with Planeswalkers, which are pretty hard to deal with. That dual land also would have been very nice. I think this card is too expensive for what it does. I don't know if I'm going to actually play Omen of the Sea. It's kind of... Omen of the Sea is also kind of expensive if you don't have any combos with it. Alright, what do we got? I hate this card. I think putting it in your deck actively makes it more likely for you to lose. There is the Scholar of the Lost Trove, which I do have Magma Opus. That's a pretty good combo. I think I'm just going to take the Malevolent Hermit, though. It's a cheap card. The countering ability is good in the matchups where you want counters. This pack is kind of bad. Probably just taking the Pathway. So if I'm gonna play 18 lands, I would be adding 12 basics at this point, so I need 5 more spells. I am really warping my mana a fair amount to get this Time Wipe in my deck when it's one of my only 2 white cards. I already have 4 dual lands though, so it's probably still going to be worth it. Spells in my colors are all quite bad. Searing Blood is good if you're an aggressive red deck, but I am not. This card I think you're not supposed to ever put in your deck. And I think this card's also quite bad. I have Retrofitter Foundry and Omen of the Sea that I can play if need be. Oh man, the Triome. I really wanted this Triome, but I think I might want Saw It Coming more. I also like this dragon. I would play this dragon if it wound up in my pool. I think we'll go with Saw It Coming. Ooh, I like this card a lot. Seek a non-land permanent, 3 or less. My deck is capable of doing that. I think I'm just going to take Obliterating Bolt, though, because I want more cheap cards. Haughty Djinn is also very strong. But again, I think I'm just going to take 2 mana play. Brainstorm, which I would play, but I don't really have any combos with it, so it's, I guess, nah, it doesn't work with Seeking. I'll just take Magma Quake. And I'll take Fateful Absence. The things that you're killing with Fateful Absence in this cube, it's almost always well worth it, even though you're giving them a card. I might want to sideboard this. If I play against, like a matchup where I'm played against a similar deck to mine. I kind of wish, I forget what I picked over Lauren. I kind of wish I had the Lauren now. So there's this thing. Which is good. There's also Scholar of the Lost Trove. I think I'll take the Scholar. I do not wish to play with any of these cards. Do not wish to play with any of these cards. And maybe I would sideboard the Hearse if I played against somebody who's really into the reanimation theme. Heat draft this. Oh, Haughty Gin Wield. I should probably put that in my deck. And I'll definitely play Castle Vantress. Maybe I just won't play the Scholar of the Lost Trove. The good targets for it to flash back are like Magma Opus for sure. And then Discover the Formula kind of, but I don't know that that's really what you want after you've resolved Discover the Formula once, is to have a card that allows you to play it again. So if I go like that, how many ways to end the game do I have? The Egg, Toddy Gin, Bonecrusher Giant, I guess, Fairy, Glorybringer, Magma Opus, Epiphany, Shark Typhoon. Yeah, that's plenty. Alright, before I do anything else, I need to fix the card styles. Which, imagine if we lived in a world where you didn't have to do this every draft. We used to live in a world where you didn't have to take the cards out of your deck in order to fix them. I think I missed one. I did. I missed Thirst for Discovery. I think I'm going to have enough basics in my deck that this is... Oh, and I missed Haughty Gin. Wow, I got so many of these. Should have drafted a different archetype so I wouldn't have to do this as much. And I got burned down the house. Alright, let's think about the mana a little bit. It's 9 red. That's... I'm going to add 1 land, right? This is 17, yeah. So I think it's going to be probably a mountain. Because I was going to say 9 red is enough, but I would kind of like more, just so that I could reliably cast Sweltering Suns early on in the game. And same thing with Magma Quake and Burn Down the House. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white. That's not great, but... it's probably reasonable. I'm not going to be very good at casting Time Wipe on turn 5, but I only have 2 other white cards in my deck and they're single white. Also, I do have this Magma Opus, which I can use to get a treasure if I really need double white, potentially. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's only 9 blue. Yeah, I'd much rather have 10th blue than the 10th red. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 blue, 9 red, 6 white. A little rough, but not incredibly bad. Alright, let's get into the games. Gotta go 4-0 with this deck to make it to day 2, which... this deck is maybe a little above average, but I don't think it's amazing. Hard Hardened Scales. I think Hardened Scales is not a pretty good card to put in your deck. I don't think I wound up with any ways to gain life. I didn't see Lyra. Sphinx's Rev, I didn't take one that shot at it. I think I saw a Circuit Mender, but I picked something else.
Duels are for personals. Let's just fight. Nothing disgusts me more than law and order.
This makes the creatures uncounterable, so I can't really saw it coming up reasonably. Wow, right off the bat they hit the 5/5 form. Form of a 5/5. I think I'm probably going to wind up casting Burn Down the House off of a treasure from Magma Opus. So I think I'm just going to prevent damage and chump this turn. Take back everything bad I said about Hardened Scales. They've actually gotten a +1/+1 counter out of it. Is it 3/4 right now? I think a blue land would be really nice. Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze is a little bit scary with the Hardened Scales. Thankfully they only have one green mana. Shuts down my Haughty Djinn and my Malevolent Hermit. I don't have that many ways to get a 6/6 off the board. I could time wipe it. Could use Teferi. Magma Quake. I think I messed up. I think I could have played the Haughty Djinn as well. That was bad. Barring some sort of uncounterable spell, they're not going to win. Is Malevolent Hermit a good card in this matchup? Might not be. I think I might prefer to have Flames of the Firebrand, I think is the name of it. Whatever Arc Lightning is called. Awaken the Woods. going to play the Saw It Coming because at the end of the game they would be able to see that I had it foretold, so that way they don't know that I have Counterspell as well. Alright, we're going to cut 11 Hermit. They do have the Awaken the Woods, which this is good against, but my deck has so many answers to Awaken the Woods anyway. I have 4 sweepers that kill all the things. Shouldn't be too afraid of it. I think I want this instead. They played Grim Lavamancer, which this is good at picking off. This kid killed Scavenging Ooze early on in the game. They might have some Mana Elves in the deck. I think it's between Flames of the Firebrand and Scholar of the Lost Trove for what card I board in, but I'll go with the cheaper one, certainly on the draw. It's so scary when people play, they play a forest and immediately tap it for mana. It might be a Llanowar Elf, but it's just Hardened Scales, which is extremely the opposite of scary. How can they possibly have enough stuff in their deck that this is a good card? I think the opponent made a mistake there. Shouldn't they have used this on their turn to try to hit a 4th land so they could make a play on their turn? Reclamation Sage. Sure. This is optional. You don't have to destroy your Hardened Scales. I think I'm just going to pass. I think I don't need to tap out for Glorybringer. I think it just invites risk. I'm gonna Magma Quake for 3 at the end of their turn, probably. And then the Smoldering Egg will be about ready to take over the game. Might have a spell that deals 2 damage, but if they do, I'm willing to let my Smoldering Egg die. They have a Troublemaker. Okay. Oh, why did I block? I killed my own Smoldering Egg. Yeah, that was bad. That was very bad. But I'm still at 20. I think I'm just going to kill that with Glorybringer. Let's see what I find off of Thirst for Discovery.
Crazy. Where do you see my mates? I bow to no one.
like I could still lose this game, which, had I not made that awful play by killing my own smoldering egg, would not have been the case. Safe. You got it. Doesn't work.
Alright. I'll just see myself out then.
It isn't how planeswalkers work with Indestructible.
Let's make this quick. I've got other things to burn. I've got a burning desire to finish you. Good luck while I'm gone.
Really amassing a lot of lands. On the draw. This hand's okay. Probably gonna be able to bounce something and then start getting some beatdowns with my 3/1 flyer. I think I'm gonna wait to bounce this in their instep. There aren't that many instants or sorceries. A red-black deck is just gonna play on the third main phase on an empty board. Is it even worth casting Brazen Borrower? I think it probably is. It's like one creature buffer so the Glorybringer can live through the Feast of the Forgotten Gods. Of course, it's also, if they have a removal spell, they kill it and then they get creature. So now they have enough fodder to kill the Glorybringer. Maybe that was a mistake. I can straw on my sweepers. It will not matter.
If you show remorse, I hold that thought. Don't make another move.
I thought they might try to cast their own Heartless Act on like one of their tokens to get another token. I guess it makes sense for them not to have done that. This is gonna force them to use their Priest of Forgotten Gods, which will get rid of these two creatures, so like the fairy will live. And then I'll be untapping 2 lands, and I'll be able to probably use Saw It Coming to keep my Teferi alive. The Teferi's been sapped of all vitality.
Really should have seen that
That's
coming.
unfortunate. Good news is I've got 6 lands in play. My deck has a lot of good things to do once I get a lot of lands out. Magda. Probably be able to get 2 or 3 cards off of this castle over the course of the game. I do need to remember I should be holding basics in my hand when I have a choice, because I have Thirst for Discovery in my deck. It's kind of just worked out that way this game, but it is something I should be thinking about. Box of Vagonas. How bad is the hand? It's 4 lands. Remember when I said that my deck has a lot of good things to do once I get a lot of lands in play? Things like this is what I meant. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play Epiphany. I was thinking about maybe I should try to Opus first, but I think it's better to... just play the Epiphany. I should have played that for more. So they have Ember Cleave in their deck. Can't do it again. At least not right away. I think I'm gonna wait to see what they do. They don't have enough mana. They couldn't just fireball me to death, so I didn't need to worry about tapping their lands. And kind of a red-black sack deck that also has Ember Cleave and Mightstone and Weakstone. I think I will keep the Malevolent Hermit in my deck this time. think I'm happy with all the sweepers. I don't really know what else. I guess Flames of the Firebrand was pretty good at killing their creatures. Is it possible I want that? Maybe over the Brazen Borrower? The Ox is pretty annoying, but I don't think it's so annoying that I'm going to have Unlicensed Terse in my deck. Is that their only graveyard thing? I get Bloodthirsty Adversary. And then I don't really necessarily have good things to flash back in this matchup anyway. I can get access to red mana in an emergency now. Over the course of a long game, this card's probably going to be a problem. They do have a fireball. Okay. Good to know. And they're gaining a bunch of life, which means they're going to Castle Lock the Way is going to be nuts this game. That is a big problem. think I should have the unlicensed hearse in my deck for game 3. Maybe I don't need time wipe. A little awkward. Yeah. Wish I'd let them have it. If I'd known I was drawing that next red mana, definitely would have. Pretty screwed here. So I want to find a 6th land. Yeah, let's do that. Dealt 5 damage. That's fine. They would have to cast something truly amazing for me to not just play Discover the Formula. Probably I can kill them now. Close. Very close. Did I have fun? I did. Alright, round 3. It's a very strong starting hand. The only issue is... Actually, there is no issue. Excellent. This couldn't have started any better. I really don't like their chances at this point. They're going to get some free cards off the Bank Buster, but I think by the time they're casting their stuff, they're going to be in so much trouble it's not going to matter. Should I just beat them down? I can do this because I can Brazen Borrower if they play something really bad for me. Even while the oddity is, I mean, it's reasonable, but it's not that scary. Like if they had played Wormcoil Engine, I would have been able to bounce back to their hand. Now if they replay the oddity, I'll just counter it and they'll die. Actually, I don't even need to counter it. It'll just die. So like a red-green beatdown deck. I didn't really play all that much that I'm super excited about countering. So I might want Flames of the Blood Hand on the draw over its side coming. They did have the 4/4 haste. And Shivan Devastator later on in the game I would want to be able to counter. I don't know that I need this much permission though. I'm still going to have Counterspell and Exclude. And Fateful Absence. Handles a lot of that stuff. So let's just have Flames of the Blood Hand. Have another way to potentially sweep the board on turn 3. We don't have a colored mana problem, but we have extremely good spells. In terms of those 3. guess I might want Counterspell in case they play like a 4x thing. I think I'm going to let this sit and play for a couple of turns. Hope they don't luck into some free lands. I think that they played a land from their hand this turn. They are going to get to resolve a 5-drop here, which I have time wipe in 2 turns, which is why I felt comfortable making this play. 5/7. Ugh. Alright, I'm just gonna go away. I like this card. It's pretty cool. Two out of 2. Oh, so this does deal 3 damage. I thought I needed 3 things. So this, the Mistre's Foundry can potentially attack as a 4/4. Do I care about this? Not really.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fires. Say hi to my fiery friends.
Oh, I didn't see they had that. But they can't use it. Good.
Hey, I'm meditating here.
This can't hit planeswalkers. I confused myself into letting this thing live, or letting it come to play.
Don't worry. Go get 'em, buddies.
I think if they animate, try to block. Just gonna let them. Then if they pump and make their guy a 4/4, I'm also gonna let them. They didn't. Oh, you can't do that. Okay. Because I can go discover the formula of Fateful Absence to flip the Smoldering Egg, and then play Fateful Absence and roll 2 damage to kill the Chandra. It's just a matter of I put my counterspell down to do that, which probably don't want to do. Like, I'll do it at the end of their turn. Shivan Devastator. I'm just gonna Fateful Absence that.
Hey, go get 'em, buddies.
Should have waited for them to attack. I thought I was... I'm not playing very well today. I thought I was going to have priority so that I could play the Fateful Absence and kill the Chandra before they could activate it.
Maybe I'm not cut out to be a monk.
Which that's just not the way the rules of Magic work. Like, I could have potentially eaten the Groundbreaker that turn for free if I wasn't playing like an idiot. I think this may be a world first of Glorybringer exerting to kill Founder Groundbreaker. I'll keep. This could go badly though. If I draw a single blue mana, I'll be able to cycle and I'll have access to Petty Theft. And I already have one spell I can cast. And this card, well, I need to draw some lands before it really does anything. Well, next turn, any untapped land will be pretty good. I don't know what does this guy do? Spend 4 mana to double his power. So they don't have anything better to do. They could do 2 extra damage. Oh, but then it's more than 2 extra damage, right? Because then they would attack for 8, I think, if they use this right now. They miss 2 damage if they activate it at this point. That really worked out well. I'm proud of myself. I think I'm going to wind up sideboarding the same way I sideboarded last time, assuming I win this game, which is looking very, very good. I would need some sort of amazing uncounterable card, I think.
Right on schedule.
There are a few uncounterable cards in the cube. There's Coma, which I don't think my opponent's
Let's
going to have
skip
in
to
their
the
deck.
good part.
It might be the only. It might be the only one.
Stop that now.
Maybe there's one or two others that I'm not thinking of. The Tyrant of Care Ridges. That would kill my Teferi, so no. But
Hold that thought.
I'm just going to fire off Magma Opus here because otherwise I'm not really spending my mana on much. I guess I'm activating the castle, or I could have played Burn Down the House and just made 3/1/1s and attacked them.
Let me know if you're up for round 2.
Well, now I'm going to make 3/1/1s and attack them. Cycle the Triome this turn. So we saw Lightning Strike, Fitz Enthusiasm, Obliterating Bolt. They're actually pretty good at killing Smoldering Egg. Not that it really matters that much, because Smoldering Egg is so cheap that if they get to kill it, then, you know, the game just keeps going on. You don't really take a... It doesn't work out disadvantageously, usually. I saw Lightning Strike, right? Yeah. And Tyrant of Care Ridges, so they've got some amount of ability to, you know, deal damage to my face. One thing I know a lot of people prefer to play best of one on Arena Day 1s. And I think choosing to play best of one when you can play best of 3, you're really missing out on like a lot of the things that make Magic a good game. One of the big things in Limited is just getting to like learning more about the cards in your opponent's deck so you can adjust how you play the game based on the cards you've seen before. That's why I was checking. You know, I'm making a mental note of, you know, what are the life total breakpoints that if I fall below them, my opponent's gonna have a spell that can kill me. So I might, at some point in the game, need to make a decision about, you know, is it worth it to take a little bit of damage to get some other advantage? And I'm going to try to stay above 4 life if I can in these games. This card's not that bad. I haven't really seen many other people play it, but it really isn't that bad of a card. So their plan is to activate Targnar, I guess. I don't know what their plan was. It seems like they should have. I guess they didn't want to trade because then I would have just played the Benevolent Geist and they wouldn't have had mana to exile the Ooze. Maybe that was their thought process. So they were trying to wait until they got a spot where they could exile the Benevolent Geist. Alright, we need to top deck an answer to the Gargaroth. Which would be like Time Wipe, Fairy, Fateful Absence. There aren't that many answers. Absolutely none of them were Sulphur Falls. So now I'm going below one of those breakpoints I mentioned that was important versus the decks. This game, I probably did. Timeless Witness, then we get back Glorybringer. On the play, I'm going to put Slide Coming back in my deck. Their 5-drops are kind of scary. I need to play a blue land on turn 1 to have counterspell on turn 2. That's why I didn't play the Triome. I'll play the Triome probably on turn 4. Counter, that's close decision. Alright. The fact that they did nothing and I got a good thirst for discovery makes me feel very good about my position now. So it'll go up to 5, down to 2, yeah. And just finish it off with the Pressure Giant. So I don't need to use my counter, I can just go into turn Brazen Borrower. And attack and stop.
That all you got? Well, that was a disaster.
It's a 5-power Targnar. I'm going to need to draw a land at some point. But once I do, especially if it's a red land, I should be able to win. You know what? I'm even gonna let the Jukai Liberator hit me once. I think I just want to trade and get that off the board. Save my Fateful Absence. It's fine, I can Fiery Impulse that. That's more problematic. Nope. I meant to use the other card. Okay. That's unfortunate. This doesn't get trample, right? I meant to stomp the Rekindling Phoenix and Fire Impulse that. I think it's safer to swoop the board rather than try to set up some sort of like kill where I like tap their things and make a 4/4. That would work if they had nothing but lands, but probably isn't necessary to assume they have nothing but lands in their hand. Seems like they have Lightning Strike in their hand right now. They're really in the tank. Maybe a Timeless Witness? Yeah, okay. Where are they getting back? So I might want to kill both their creatures with the trigger on the stack. I don't think I need to. So I can safely block because the one unknown card can't be both a land and a Pillar of Flame. That's probably a hard choice for them with the Timeless Witness. From my side, I have Magma Opus in my hand, so, you know, it doesn't really matter what they do, but from their perspective, I can see why they thought for a long time on that. Alright, so it took one attempt to get to day 2, which is great. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll make a video with my day 2 drafts as well. So if you haven't already, sub to the channel, and you'll get to see that as well. Until then.